When will we see Snyder behind bars or Flint? Um, yeah.
So, all right. First, I have to start by saying this is that I am following these cases the exact same way all of you are following these cases, and I don't have inside information. And why is that? Because I had to choose when I got into office which side of the conflict wall that was in place I'd be on. Remember that there were hundreds of lawsuits filed against the state of Michigan and against, the DEQ, against the Department of Treasury, against the Department of Health and Human Services, and a whole litany of actors, including the governor. And they were being sued. So the state of Michigan is normally defended by the Department of Attorney General. So we had a conflict wall put in place so that one side of the conflict wall could be prosecuting anybody responsible for harm that was done to the city of Flint and its residents, but on the other side, defending those cases where the state was being sued. So what I decided to do is this: I decided to go on the civil side, and I did that for a few different reasons. One is my thought was, yeah, you can put people in jail or prison and you can prosecute people, but at the end of the day, and I'm not saying that that's not important, but what I'm saying at the end of the day is there were real people that suffered, and especially the children, because we know that lead poisoning more acutely affects a person while they're growing. And especially, when you're in your infant stages, I mean, that's those were the people that needed relief as quickly as possible. They needed money for programming, they needed money for medical services, and they needed help right away. So I thought if I joined the civil team, I could really be pushing the settlements and working hand in hand with the governor to get those settlements through as quickly as possible. And we did, by the way, the biggest settlement in the history of the state of Michigan. So far, $641 million. And honestly, that's not the end of it because the EPA has not settled yet, and neither have the engineering firms that are being sued. The other reason I didn't want to be on the criminal side, even though I'd been a career prosecutor and defense attorney, was because I've been very critical of Rick Snyder and how he handled this case back before I was ever a candidate for AG. In fact, I think I called him a soulless monster on numerous occasions. And I thought, the most important thing that you can do as a prosecutor is to be totally impartial and also have the appearance of being totally impartial. So I wanted career prosecutors who had never made inflammatory statements about the guilt or the culpability of the governor, so that it didn't look like these were politically driven prosecutions in the event there was evidence that indicated that Rick Snyder played a role in this and that he was criminally culpable. So I appointed Fadwa Hammoud, my Solicitor General. I appointed Kim Worthy, Wayne County prosecutor, who has a career of prosecuting large public integrity cases and is well known to be very nonpartisan in the way she goes about her work. They handled the prosecutions. They, had to start really all over again because they felt as though the job that Bill Schuette had done was woefully inadequate. They started off with some 800,000 documents. They ended up with over 20 million after they executed a number of search warrants and whatnot. And so you saw that, there were 9 people charged, including the governor, with a variety of different crimes, including many people who were charged with manslaughter counts involving Legionella poisoning. And so the cases are moving forward. I just read in the paper today that there were a number of motions that were filed by the Snyder team to dismiss his cases, and they were denied. So those prosecutions are moving forward. I will say I was a little horrified by the arguments that I saw the Snyder team make, such as the fact that he had no responsibility to the people of the city of Flint, that there was no, he couldn't possibly have committed misconduct in office, or I'm sorry, willful neglect of office, because he owed no responsibility to them in the first place, which I thought was one of the most tone deaf arguments I've ever before read. And why would you run to be governor of a state and then say, I'm not responsible to take care of the people that live in a city of nearly 100,000 people? But we know why that was. So, I don't have to speculate about why that is. And if this was not a city of predominantly lower income people of color, maybe he would have given a damn about them, but they weren't. They weren't his donors, and they weren't his voters. And so I guess it's okay to say I have no responsibility to any of you. So anyway, those cases move on, and I have every confidence in the team that was assembled by Solicitor General Hamoud and by Prosecutor Worthy, and I think justice will be done.
Awesome. Thank you so much.